Welcome to Tribute to Stars. I'm Brandon. This channel is a place to honor unforgettable lives that brought joy, talent, and inspiration to the world. Here we remember beloved figures from film, music, television, and culture, reflecting on their journey, their influence, and the memories they left behind. Every tribute helps keep their legacy shining for generations to come. Elizabeth Taylor passed away at the age of 79, marking the end of one of Hollywood's most iconic careers. She was widely regarded as more than a film star. She was a commanding presence whose performances carried emotional intensity, glamour, and depth. Over decades in cinema, she became a symbol of classic Hollywood while continually evolving as an actress. Defining roles and career, Taylor first captured public attention as a child actor in National Velvet, where her natural charm and energy stood out. As her career matured, she delivered powerful performances in films such as Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, showcasing emotional complexity and dramatic strength. Her role in Butterfield 8 earned her an Academy Award, highlighting a more vulnerable and layered side of her screen persona. She later reached legendary status with Cleopatra, a production that cemented her image as one of cinema's most enduring figures. Legacy beyond the screen. Elizabeth Taylor is remembered not only for her performances but also for her resilience, passion, and ability to remain relevant across changing eras of film. Her career reflected both glamour and humanity, showing strength alongside vulnerability. Today, she continues to be celebrated as a defining figure in film history whose influence extends beyond acting into culture, fashion, and public life. Jennifer Runyon is best known to many audiences for her brief but unforgettable appearance in Ghostbusters. In the film's opening ESP experiment scene, her character appears opposite Bill Murray's Dr. Peter Venkman, helping set the comedic tone that defines the movie. Though the role is small, it remains one of those classic early moments fans continue to revisit. A steady career in film and television. Beyond Ghostbusters, Runyon worked steadily throughout the 1980s and early 1990s. She appeared in films like Up the Creek and the television movie A Very Brady Christmas, while also becoming familiar to TV audiences through roles in popular series. Her work on shows such as Charles in Charge, where she played Gwendolyn Pierce, highlighted her approachable charm and screen presence. Television appearances and versatility. Runyon also made guest appearances across several well-known series, including Quantum Leap and Murder, she wrote. These roles showed her ability to move between comedy and drama with ease, often leaving a strong impression even in limited screen time. A quiet, enduring legacy, Jennifer Runyon's career is remembered for consistency, warmth, and versatility. While not defined by leading stardom, her performances continue to be appreciated by fans who value the subtle, human presence she brought to the screen. A message circulating online claims that former NFL safety Joey Browner has passed away at the age of 65. At this time, there is no confirmation from official league sources, family statements, or credible sports media verifying this report. Because of that, it should be treated as unverified information rather than a factual announcement. NFL career and impact. Joey Browner is best known for his standout career with the Minnesota Vikings, where he established himself as one of the most dominant defensive backs of the 1980s and early 1990s. His playing style combined physical strength with sharp field awareness, making him a key figure in the Vikings' defense for many seasons. Achievements and recognition. Throughout his career, Browner earned multiple Pro Bowl selections and was widely respected around the league for his consistency and toughness. He was also recognized on the All-Madden team several times, an honor associated with players who exemplified grit and high-level performance in the NFL. Legacy and respect in the game. Browner remains remembered by fans and analysts as a defining defensive presence of his era. His contributions to the Vikings franchise and his reputation across the league continue to be part of NFL history discussions, regardless of current unverified reports circulating online. There is no reliable or verified information confirming the passing of Mel Schilling. She is widely known as a relationship expert and television personality, and recent public records and media coverage do not support claims of her death. Mel Schilling continues to be recognized for her ongoing work in relationship coaching and media appearances. The following is a respectful appreciation of her public contribution rather than a factual obituary. Work on Married at First Sight. Mel Schilling is best known for her role on Married at First Sight, where she has served as a relationship expert, guiding participants through emotionally complex and highly unusual matchmaking experiences. Her approach is often grounded in communication psychology, helping individuals understand their behavior, emotional responses, and relationship expectations. Through this role, she has become a familiar and trusted voice for viewers, navigating the challenges of modern relationships on screen. Impact and public presence beyond television, Schilling is recognized for her broader work in relationship counseling, public speaking, and media commentary. Her style is often described as calm, empathetic, and structured, helping people feel heard even during difficult conversations. Over time, she has built a reputation not just as a television expert, but as someone focused on emotional clarity and personal growth. Her ongoing influence continues through her work, public engagement, and contribution to conversations around healthy relationships. Jennifer Aniston has long occupied a unique place in global popular culture, not only as an actress but as a symbol of familiarity, warmth, and emotional resonance, rising to international recognition through her iconic role as Rachel Green in Friends. She became one of the most recognizable faces in television history. Yet her public image, often associated with effortless charm and humor, only tells part of the story. Behind the steady smile and polished presence lies a life shaped by early instability, personal losses, and years lived under intense public scrutiny. Over time, she has navigated family fractures, relentless media attention, and deeply personal struggles that unfolded in public view. Still, her journey is not defined solely by hardship, but by resilience, reinvention, and emotional endurance. This is a portrait of a woman who learned to stand firm under constant observation while continuing to build a meaningful life on her own terms. Early life. Growing up in a world of fame and fragility. Jennifer Aniston was born into an environment where performance and recognition were already part of everyday life. Raised in Los Angeles, she grew up surrounded by the entertainment industry through her parents, both actors. Her father worked steadily in television, while her mother also had experience in acting and modeling. Despite this proximity to fame, her childhood did not feel secure or stable. The glamour of Hollywood existed outside the home, while inside, emotional uncertainty shaped her earliest years. Frequent transitions, shifting family dynamics, and the pressures of appearance created a sense of instability. Even as a child, she began observing people closely, learning how emotions were expressed, hidden, or controlled. This early sensitivity later became an essential part of her acting ability. However, at the time, it was simply a way of navigating a world that often felt unpredictable and emotionally unanchored. Family separation. The quiet impact of early loss. One of the most defining moments of Jennifer Aniston's childhood came when her parents separated while she was still young. The end of their marriage altered the emotional foundation of her home life. Her father's departure from daily presence created a lasting sense of absence, one that would quietly influence her emotional development for years. Moving between households and adjusting to changing routines added to her sense of instability. Rather than experiencing childhood as a continuous and secure environment, she encountered it in fragments. This early separation did not manifest as a single, dramatic event, but as a slow, emotional shift that shaped her understanding of connection and permanence. It also introduced her to the idea that relationships could change without warning. In later reflections, this period became central to how she understood resilience, emotional self-reliance, and the importance of maintaining inner balance amid external uncertainty. Maternal expectations, beauty, discipline, and emotional pressure. After her parents' separation, Jennifer's relationship with her mother became a significant influence in her early development. Her mother, a former model, placed strong emphasis on appearance, discipline, and control. While these expectations were often intended as guidance, they were experienced by Jennifer as pressure during formative years. Comments about posture, weight, and presentation shaped how she viewed herself, particularly during adolescence when identity is still forming. This focus on external appearance created an internal conflict between how she felt and how she believed she was expected to appear. Over time, these experiences contributed to a heightened self-awareness and sensitivity to judgment. However, they also planted early seeds of resilience. Instead of retreating, she began developing emotional coping mechanisms, including humor and observation. These tools would later become essential not only in her personal life, but also in her professional identity as an actress capable of emotional nuance and comedic timing. Humor as survival. Learning to diffuse pain through laughter. As her early environment became increasingly emotionally complex, Jennifer Aniston discovered humor as a natural coping mechanism. Laughter became more than a social tool, it became a form of emotional protection. By making others laugh, she could redirect attention away from tension and uncertainty. In doing so, she created a temporary sense of safety. This instinct was not calculated but intuitive, formed through lived experience rather than conscious strategy. Humor allowed her to navigate situations that felt emotionally heavy without becoming overwhelmed by them. It also helped her build connections with others, offering relief in moments of discomfort. Over time, this ability evolved into a defining feature of her personality and later her career. What began as a childhood adaptation gradually became a professional strength, allowing her to bring authenticity and emotional timing to comedic roles. Beneath its lightness, however, humor remained rooted in survival. Public scrutiny, family conflict, and media exposure. As Jennifer Aniston's life became more publicly visible, personal matters began to intersect with media attention in difficult ways. One of the most painful experiences involved the public exposure of private family issues during her early career years. A highly personal narrative involving her relationship with her mother entered the public sphere, intensifying emotional strain and turning private conflict into public discussion. This moment marked a shift in how she experienced fame, revealing its capacity to magnify personal pain. The lack of privacy made emotional resolution more complex, as healing could no longer occur away from external commentary. The situation created distance within her family relationships and introduced a prolonged period of emotional separation. In later years, she acknowledged that reconciliation and understanding do not always follow predictable timelines. This experience reinforced her awareness of boundaries and the importance of protecting personal life from external interpretation. The spark of acting, finding refuge in performance. Even amid emotional challenges, acting emerged early as a natural refuge for Jennifer Aniston. From a young age, she was drawn to storytelling and imagination, using performance as a way to explore identity and emotional expression. Acting provided a structured space where she could temporarily step outside her circumstances and inhabit different realities. Unlike the unpredictability of her personal environment, performance offered clarity, rules, and purpose. As she grew older, this interest deepened into a sense of direction. She began to understand acting not only as escape, but as communication, a way to connect with others through shared emotion. This realization transformed performance from a childhood outlet into a potential career path. What made acting particularly meaningful was its ability to hold emotion safely, allowing her to process feelings indirectly while still expressing them fully. This early connection to storytelling became the foundation of her artistic journey. Drama education, discipline at LaGuardia High School. Jennifer Aniston's formal training at the LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts in New York marked a significant turning point in her development as an actress. The school's demanding environment required discipline, vulnerability, and technical precision. Unlike earlier experiences where performance was instinctive, here it became structured and refined. She was encouraged to explore emotional depth while maintaining control over expression. This balance between instinct and technique shaped her acting foundation. The training also introduced her to the competitive nature of the performing arts, where talent alone was not enough without persistence and resilience. Living in New York during this period further exposed her to independence and self-reliance. These years were not defined by comfort but by growth through challenge. The discipline she developed during this time would later support her through the pressures of Hollywood and the demands of long-term public visibility. Breakthrough with friends. Becoming a cultural icon. Jennifer Aniston's breakthrough role in Friends transformed her career and placed her at the center of global entertainment culture. As Rachel Green, she became a defining figure of 1990s television, capturing audiences with humor, relatability, and emotional authenticity. The show's success elevated her from working actress to international star, with her character becoming deeply embedded in popular culture. However, this level of visibility also brought intense scrutiny and expectations. Her image became widely recognized and frequently discussed, often beyond the boundaries of her professional work. While Friends provided extraordinary opportunity and financial stability, it also marked the beginning of a life lived under continuous public observation. Despite these pressures, she maintained consistency in her performances, contributing to the show's enduring legacy. The role became both a career milestone and a defining reference point in her identity as an actress. Fame and media pressure, living under constant observation. Following her success on Friends, Jennifer Aniston's life became increasingly shaped by media attention. Her relationships, personal decisions, and appearance were frequently analyzed and discussed in public forums. This constant scrutiny created a unique form of pressure, where private experiences were often interpreted through a public lens. Over time, she developed strategies to maintain emotional stability, including setting boundaries and limiting exposure to external narratives. Despite the intensity of attention, she continued to work steadily, building a career that extended beyond her early success. The experience of living under observation required emotional discipline and self-definition. Rather than allowing external narratives to determine her identity, she focused on maintaining consistency in her work and personal values. This period reinforced her resilience and her ability to remain grounded despite ongoing public commentary. Personal struggles, IVF loss, and emotional acceptance. Among the most deeply personal aspects of Jennifer Aniston's life has been her journey with motherhood and fertility. Over the years, she openly shared that she underwent IVF treatments and experienced emotional and physical challenges in the process. These experiences were often accompanied by public speculation, which added additional emotional weight to an already private struggle. Rather than framing her experience in terms of loss alone, she has spoken about acceptance and emotional clarity. She emphasized that fulfillment is not defined by a single life milestone. Her perspective reflects a broader understanding of identity beyond societal expectations. While the emotional impact of these experiences was significant, she has consistently approached them with honesty rather than avoidance. This openness contributed to a broader conversation about women's autonomy, personal choice, and the complexity of life paths that do not follow traditional expectations. Resilience and reinvention. Building a stable inner life. Over time, Jennifer Aniston developed a philosophy rooted in resilience, self-awareness, and emotional stability. Through therapy, friendships, and personal reflection, she cultivated tools to manage emotional pressure and maintain balance. Practices such as yoga and mindfulness contributed to her sense of grounding. Rather than seeking external validation, she focused on internal consistency and emotional clarity. Her support system, built on long-standing friendships, provided continuity in an industry defined by change. This network played an important role in helping her navigate both professional and personal challenges. Her approach to life became less about reacting to external circumstances and more about maintaining inner equilibrium. This shift allowed her to engage with her career and public life without being consumed by it. Her resilience is not defined by avoidance of difficulty, but by the ability to move through it with awareness and stability. Career longevity and success, producing, leading, and evolving. In addition to acting, Jennifer Aniston expanded her career into producing and continued to take on leading roles in major projects such as The Morning Show. This transition reflected her evolution from performer to creative decision-maker. Her work behind the scenes allowed her greater control over storytelling and character development. Financial success followed her sustained career, including earnings from long-term royalties, endorsements, and production roles. She also made strategic investments in real estate, prioritizing privacy, comfort, and personal space. Despite her wealth and success, her public image remained relatively grounded compared to many peers. Her career longevity is a result of adaptability, discipline, and consistent audience connection. Rather than relying solely on past achievements, she continued to evolve professionally, maintaining relevance across decades of changing entertainment landscapes. Conclusion. A life defined by continuity, not perfection. Jennifer Aniston's life story is not one of perfection or resolution, but of continuity through change. She has experienced fame, loss, scrutiny, and personal struggle, yet she has remained steady in her presence and work. Her journey reflects the complexity of living publicly while maintaining private emotional integrity. Rather than being defined by singular narratives, her life is shaped by accumulation of experiences, choices, and responses to challenge. What stands out most is not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of endurance. She has built a life that balances visibility with privacy, success with simplicity, and public admiration with personal grounding. In doing so, she has become not only a cultural figure, but also an example of emotional persistence. Her story continues to evolve, not as a finished narrative, but as an ongoing practice of living with awareness, strength, and quiet resilience.